everyone. Welcome back for a brand new edition of Collider Ladies Night Pre-Party. I love Umbrella Academy so much. And Ritu Arya, see, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. When you popped on screen in that show in season 2, it was just so electric, sent the energy through the roof. And seeing that character evolve throughout season 3 has been one of the biggest treats of the whole series thus far. Swear I'm not just saying it because you're on the show. Huge congratulations.
That's so lovely. Thank you so much.
I mean it. So the whole point of Ladies Night Pre-Party is that we get to learn a little more about you, and we always start every episode here. What is the movie, the performance, personal experience, you name it, that first made you say, I have to be an actor?
The first movie, I think, was a movie called Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge with Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol, and it's a Bollywood movie, and we played it all the time when I was little. It's sort of up there as one of my top favorite films, and I just was in love with this movie. And Shah Rukh Khan is my just absolute idol. So I think I just thought, how do I do that? What they're doing, you know?
All right, so you have that question. What is the first answer to that question you came up with? And then looking back, was that the right answer at the time? Did your first step kind of put you on the right path?
I think I asked my mum if I could go to like a Saturday acting school, like a class. And so she found what was the nearest one. I think it's called like Sunshine Saturday Morning or something. And I hated it because there was a lot of musical theatre and I felt really shy about singing. And so it wasn't my thing. So I think I kind of put things on a back burner with that. And I started doing dance routines instead with my cousins. Most weekends they would come over and we would just like make dance routines to like Spice Girls and Bewitched. Do you remember Bewitched?
Wait, oh, I do remember Bewitched. Oh my God, what was their really popular song called?
C'est la vie.
That was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
All right.
I mean, every now and then we'll like bust it out at like family parties and stuff, and then the next day I'm like, why didn't we do that? So that, and then we would do like comedy sketches and things like that. So I think I was always performing as a little kid, just for fun with friends and cousins and stuff.
So now correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but then you went to school and got a degree in astrophysics?
Oh,
Why that first and not a degree in drama?
well, I was quite studious and I really enjoyed learning, and I was so curious about space. I mean, I still am, and just wanting to know why everything is the way it is, like, scientifically. Um, and so I just wasn't done learning, and I knew that this is something that I'm never going to do again. I knew I was going to go in, well, try and become an actor. You don't know how it's going to end up. You just have a passion at the time, and you're just like, let's see how this goes. I was I was still acting whilst I was doing the degree. I think I chose Southampton University because they have the Nuffield Theatre on the campus. And so that was a big reason why I wanted to go to that uni. And every summer we were going to Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and I was either directing or doing comedy or performing a play. I think it's called Lords and Ladies. It was a Terry Pratchett play. We did it at the C venues, and I played like elf number 2, and I had the best time ever. I think I had 1 line or 2 lines, but I took it very seriously. Like, I was like, no, I'm a real actor, and I think you should. Like, there's no small part. I had an amazing time. Yeah, and then I went, and I kind of, my parents were a bit hesitant about acting. We hadn't had anyone go into the arts in the family yet, and they've always been really supportive, and I've also kind of always done my own thing anyway. So I think part of me was like, I love this, I love learning, but also, hey, they that must have pleased them as well. And I was like, then I can go to drama school afterwards. And yeah, I always got their support with that too. So
So the interest in going to drama school after never wavered. You never considered, I will now take this degree and find a career
mm.
within that particular profession.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you are, I sometimes I think I thought, why didn't I just go to drama school if I knew I was going to do that? But I don't know, it just felt right at the time. I really wanted to study physics. I was just like super into it. I was still doing acting. I didn't feel like I wanted acting to be like a career yet or like work yet. It was just for fun. So no regrets. I had the best time.
So do you remember the first moment where that kind of switched, where acting became not something you wanted to do just for fun, but like you knew it had to be the career and that was the only path forward for you?
Yeah, it was my last term at uni, and I really found it hard to concentrate because I was so excited, I think, to uh, start applying to drama schools. Um, and I know you don't have to go to drama school to be an incredible actor. Like that, I know so many actors that didn't do that, and I think it was just my journey. I think because I didn't know any other way. I just had heard of that. But yeah, I found it quite hard to study in that last term. Um, because I was just like getting a bit angsty to get the ball rolling, you know.
I get that. I always love asking this question to anyone who has gone to drama school. Is there anything about having studied at Oxford that when you hit your first professional set, you found invaluable, a tool you actually gained from school that you put to use? But then on the other hand, is there anything that all the schooling in the world could never have prepared you for when you first started working?
Oof, yeah. Something, I mean, I use a lot of the stuff that I learned from drama school. There are so many tools that I use to this day, whether I was doing children's theatre at the beginning of my career or, big Hollywood movies now. Like, I still have quite a similar, like, detective investigative process for character, which I love and enjoy, which is, studying or researching your character and figuring out your beats and your intentions. And so I love all that. And so yeah, tons of stuff that I still use and things that I wouldn't be able to have planned for. Also so much stuff. I mean, what's coming into my head is the dealing with the rejection. um I found it very difficult for the first few years, maybe the first 5 years, actually. I hadn't like, I didn't have like a good thing in place. So I took it very badly. It made me very miserable. I spent a lot of time just in bed crying, like not knowing why or how I would continue with this career because I just took it very personally, and it's too long to be moping around over something that is out of your control. So, yeah, I think that there's nothing you can do to prepare for the rejection other than like just know it's going to happen. Know it's not personal. Do your best work. Have something in place that you can do after an audition, or even another thing for me, another thing that you love as much, um or not even as much, but I feel like it helped me a lot, playing music, because it just gave me perspective that it's just like another creative outlet that I was able to you know channel, and it made me less like intense about acting and getting roles and things. I was like, oh, actually, I'm really enjoying my life and doing this, and I'm getting good at this. And then I think that gave me perspective. Anyway, I'm on a rant.
Well, I want to dig into that a little bit more. So you have the music that helps you out there, but when you go through all that rejection, what is the key to, I guess, not getting dejected and not losing faith in your own ability as an actor? What was your lifeline that ultimately pulled you out of all that rejection?
I think it was like this one time I was like with my mom, and something just clicked. I think she had some meditative like music on, and it was like I think I fell asleep like in the lounge in like the living room or something during the day, which had been a long time since doing that because I just was tense all the time. And I fell asleep and something just clicked of like letting go. That sounds really airy fairy, but I don't know what it was. It just made me think, stop trying so hard, stop trying to will something. And I let it go, and then that was something, but something that I think is more useful actually, because was me meditating helped a lot.
I've heard that often, and I've told myself I need to try to meditate. I've downloaded the Calm app, but I've yet to get myself into that habit.
Oh my gosh, it's like my medicine.
One day I'm actually going to commit to it and fully use it. So you get out of that phase and you book a really great opportunity in Doctors. With that one, I am curious though, because I was looking it up and you're on an episode in 2013, but then you didn't get your bigger role until 2017. So is that the kind of situation where they remember you from 2013 and say, let's bring you back for this bigger role? Or was it total chance?
I think I don't think anyone remembered me from that first episode, and I'm mortified if I ever saw it again. I was very, I don't know what it was. And yeah, and then the opportunity came to do it again. And I didn't have that much experience still on screen, and I really wanted some. And I know that a lot of people, have found it like so. I know so many actors that did Doctors, and I think it was sort of 2 or 3, maybe 3 months that I would get to work on this set as this recurring role, and I was so down, and I learned so much. And the cast was unbelievable. There were different kinds of directors, so many different personalities, a very quick turnaround, and it felt like another time at school, like more like training. And I think that the training never stops, you know. And something I really wanted to do was like feel, can I do screen stuff? Do I enjoy it? Can I relax into it? Um, and so that helped me a lot doing that job.
So, did you originally envision a career for yourself on the stage and not screen?
What? I just felt like if I get to get paid to act is my dream come true. And I never thought about being on screen. No, I'd only known theatre really. I don't know why, which is weird when it all started from my love for Shah Rukh Khan. But I think I didn't think too much about it other than I just want to act. And so I don't know if that's useful. But that's just where I was at the time. And so I was like auditioning for anything and everything that my agent was kind of putting me up for. And I love theatre and I loved doing theatre. And so I had so much fun in every play I did and learnt a lot each time. And I would get a few bits and bobs with screen, but there wasn't really a game plan. It was just, if I can get paid to do this, just I'm very happy.
It's very, very understandable. So
Yeah.
you start booking some screen opportunities. Is there anything about what it meant to act for the camera instead that you found surprisingly creatively fulfilling?
Yeah, I really loved how intimate you can be. And I also really loved that you could do all this work and then on the day drop it and then have that moment and then you don't come back to it again. I find it really thrilling, you know.
I can understand that. All right, let's take the leap into Umbrella now. I want to start at the beginning of that. What would you say is the biggest difference between your expectations for the role of Lila when you were first auditioning for the part and how far she's come since?
Oh my gosh. I didn't have any idea when I auditioned. It was just one scene I think they'd written for the audition purpose. And she was just really, really cool, like manipulative and funny and mischievous and kind of aloof, which felt powerful. And so I just really wanted to play her. And I thought she was just in one episode. I think there was maybe one other scene that they'd given. So I think it was 2 scenes, and I was like, I so badly want this. And then they said I had a meeting with the showrunner, and he was sort of like, "You're gonna love it here. I really hope you, accept, or like, come on, want to work with us and stuff." And I was just like, "Whoa, okay." Did, and then he said, "Oh, also, she has superpowers, and she's going to be in all the episodes." And I was just like, I think I actually stopped speaking. I don't think I've ever been speechless before. I think I just went. And then after, so I was like, "Oh, Ritu, why did you do that? You could have said something cool." Yeah, so that was like a really, really cool moment.
I get it. I get it. It was hugely popular show, and again, I'm obsessed with this particular character. It's just so many exciting creative possibilities with her. So you book the role, you're really excited. I still have to imagine that it's got to be kind of intimidating stepping onto a set with a whole bunch of people who have worked together and established a rhythm for an entire season. So stepping onto the set of season 2, was there anyone in particular that you would look to get a sense of how to carry yourself and how things operated?
No, I definitely did my own thing. What's that phrase? To go dancing to the beat of your own drum? Don't know.
March to the beat of your own
Yeah,
drum.
I think it was like that, but also kind of her character. So I definitely felt like a bit of a loner, but I just used it for my own enjoyment, and power. And I had a great time working with David Castañeda. That season, we had so much stuff, and but yeah, I kind of just, I think I did my own thing, but it was easy to because they were so welcoming. Everyone on set, like the cast, the crew, the directors. I think on the first day, Steve and Jeff, Jeff King, the producer, at the time, they really encouraged and created a very playful atmosphere, and so I felt, yeah, really welcome from day one.
Your rhythm with David is like impeccable. Does something like that happen the second you start working with him, or is that something you have to feel out?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes it can be, easy with people, and sometimes you have to do a bit more work. We had a couple weeks of rehearsals. I think we were in Toronto because we had like a read through of some episodes beforehand. So, I think we went for like a coffee here and there and like ran the lines and got to know each other a bit, and that helped tremendously before the first day. But also, I just think he's so easy to work with and really generous, and works hard. So it was, yeah, just luck really to click with him so much.
What about some of your one-liners? Was because that's like another thing that it feels like it's so heavily reliant on you to deliver those pitch perfectly or they do not work. So,
Oh,
over the course of the last 2 seasons, is there any particular one that, I don't know, it was a tough time figuring out exactly how to deliver it where it played the way it needed to, where it was funny, but it also felt natural within the moment?
that's a really interesting question. I feel like I can end up putting a lot of pressure on myself when I know a line's funny, and how do I try and not be funny with it, you know? So I'll have like all these, I think, all these ideas, and then it's just about dropping it on the day. Like I'm always surprised what take they use, because I'll try stuff, and the, it's fascinating. There was a line in season 2, something about milk. How does yogurt know how to
Oh.
make milk or something? And I thought that was like quite a funny line, and then on the day it became like, I don't know, it was like a sad moment where she became more vulnerable. And so that was interesting because I hadn't thought about that being delivered in that kind of emotion until in that moment. And that can always be very exciting when you just find things in a present moment. Oh, I live for that. Feels so good.
You you really do nail them all. They are all very effective. I knew that Lila was gonna be one of my favorite characters. I think it was, like, the very beginning of season 2, and, like, you 2 are hiding, and it's a really tense moment, but then you say your fly is down, and I'm like, "Oh, like, you are funny, I like you, and I am going to vibe with this character."
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah.
So, she's got a whole bunch of one-liners, but she's also, like, so highly manipulative and impulsive. So over the course of these 2 seasons, is there anything you look at, like, I guess, a grounding factor for her, where no matter what she's doing or what decision she's making, you know you could always turn to that particular quality, so you know for yourself that it is based in her truth?
Actually, yeah, I think sometimes before I take the impulsive thing, so I might just do something unexpected for myself, whether that's like a weird move or saying something, not for anyone else, just for myself, I think can get me into her like unpredictable world, which I don't think I've thought about before you asking me that I do that.
It's really something else. She's a character who keeps me on my toes, but the foundation has always been there. So I always believe in everything she does, which I feel like is a very difficult balance to achieve with a character like that.
Oh, thank you. I think it's
I mean
the
it.
only thing that's important really at the end of the day is just trying to find the truth. It's like we can get really offended. I think it's like the only kind of art where we feel like offended if a character isn't like truthful enough for us. It's like if you experience that, that's not how I would never act that way, and we can like get like really like personally affected when we see something that doesn't feel like it rings true to us. So I feel like authenticity is uh, something that is the most important thing for me.
Well, actually, here's a good follow-up to that. I'm not sure if this ever happened on Umbrella Academy, but have you ever encountered a story beat for Lila where, you know, the truth in the moment for her wasn't super evident when you initially read it, and you had to kind of either talk it through with the writers or think it through more thoroughly for yourself in order to really be able to process the moment?
Yeah, definitely. An example being, uh, is it a spoiler if I say something about season two, season three?
We can put that spoiler warning up right now. There will be a pretty banner on the screen, and
Spoiler! Spoiler alert!
you are officially allowed to talk about whatever you want starting now.
So there was the scene where Lila and Five meet for the first time in season three, and when I got the script through, it was you know, they just sort of had this conversation, and it's always so well written, but I just thought, ugh, like this is hard for me because I really went in there with the hate at the end of season 10, 10 episode 10 of the last season, that I feel like that hasn't been resolved yet, and it was niggling at me. So I suggested to Steve, like, could we have a fight there? Because there's something that will, one, create a bigger journey for them, and two, like she's still in that place, and also it's kind of more Lila, and he loved that idea and like wrote something really cool in it. So that's an example, but lots of things. But also I feel like I try my best to not do that. It's only maybe with Steve because he's so collaborative, and encouraging about that stuff. But you know, there are other writers and directors that aren't, and I love that too. I'll just make it work. That's the job of an actor, I think. So if you think, oh, my character wouldn't say that, I was like, well, no, it would. We could say anything. Like me as myself, I could do something unexpected, and someone else might be like, well, that's not very much like what Ritu would normally do. And it's like, well, that's what I'm doing now. Like we can always tell ourselves we act certain ways, and we can surprise ourselves too. And I think characters can do that as well if we'll allow it. So yes.
I like that
Nerd.
way of looking at it. That's like a level of open-mindedness that I feel like you don't hear about too often, but it's important.
Hmm.
So, digging into season 3 now that the spoiler warning is up, was there any particular day of filming on the new season where you were standing on set and you were just looking around and considering what you were doing and thinking to yourself, like, this is absolutely nuts. I don't know how this is ever going to work. But then you saw the finished product and it all came together especially well.
Yes. um, because there's a lot of VFX.
Yes.
So sometimes you feel really stupid doing stuff. And they are like, we promise you it will look real. Like, please act more scared. This thing that's gonna be, chasing you or whatever is going to be loud, it's going to be big, and you're like, ah, and there's nothing there. And you're like, I feel full. But then you watch it and you're like, oh, I could have gone even bigger. It's even scarier than they said. So tons of stuff like that. But you just trust, especially this season. I've already done a season that and watched it back and seen they don't leave anyone exposed. I think that the editors do such an amazing job of bringing the show together. I think that's what makes it a brilliant show, that everyone just gives it 110%, is really good at what they do. And when that happens, I think it's a recipe for something really fun.
It's one of my favorite qualities to emphasize on any show or movie out there, because
Yeah.
we all know you, we all know the faces of the show so well, but it's so important to remind everyone that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are responsible for bringing it all together.
Yeah.
So, getting into what happened to Lila a little in between seasons 2 and 3. So, this is one thing that I know we don't really get to see on screen, but just for your own head, did you ever have to consider what it was like for her the moment she found out she was pregnant? What her initial reaction to that was?
Yeah. Um, she was like, oh dear. I think I mean, in my head, she's found that out before she's dyed her hair blonde and gone to do a gig. Or maybe not, because she drinks it. No. Yeah, I think that's what I thought. But it's a long time ago since deciding on those things that aren't written, but you kind of create yourself. She was in shock. She was in denial. She was angry. She was scared. And it's all covered up by, I'm just going to go off the rails.
I would believe that.
Something like that.
All right. Jumping to the very end of season 3 now. So, this is the thing I might be overthinking a little bit, but at the very end of the finale episode, Diego says, "What are we supposed to do?" And Lila replies, "Live our lives." What is it like trying to figure out the exact tone for a line like that so it's the right mixture of, I guess, enthusiasm, uncertainty, and confidence in what she's suggesting?
Just try them all.
Feels like a mix of all of them
The
to me.
director would sell you. I think no. I'll have a big think about what I think serves the situation or the character or the dynamics. I don't like anything too overly sentimental, so I think, especially as Lila. So just try not to overthink it. Just be in the moment. Make it about the other person.
How do you think she feels about the idea of not having any powers at the end of the season? Is that something she's ready to move on from, or is it a situation where she'll eventually come to miss having those abilities?
Interesting one, because I thought she would find it really hard. But there's this thing that her mum wrote her this letter saying, "You're not like, normal lives aren't for us," or something. And then Five is like, "Oh, you really think you're going to have a nice domestic life?" And she's like, "Ouch." So I think she'd quite like to try it. She's had all this stuff happen to her that's broken her heart and been really difficult, and that's come with her powers. Her powers are what made her mum use her and get her own parents killed. So I think she might be all right with it.
I love the idea of watching characters reassess things that they think define them, and then they lose them, and they realize that there are other things that could define their situation that might be defining them for the better.
Oh, yeah, and in real life.
Yeah, very true in real life. I need to remind myself of that often.
Me
Um,
too.
Before I let you go, I have to ask about an upcoming project because I am very excited about this Barbie movie. You could not be working with a better team of people on that film.
I know. I can't believe I got to work with them.
I don't know what you're allowed to tell us
I know.
about
I'd
in
whisper.
like actual things that happen in the movie. So I'll throw this one that you might have to deny out first. Are you able to tell us anything about who you're playing?
Deny. I don't
Okay.
know if I'm allowed to say anything, but all I can say is Greta Gerwig is amazing. Margot Robbie is amazing. I had the best time, and I'm so just grateful to be part of this like insanely cool project.
Here's one that I think you might be able to answer. What is it like working on a Lucky Chaps set with Margot Robbie producing? Is there anything about the way that a set like that is run and the environment that she and her team creates that is specific to that movie that you really appreciated?
Yeah, it felt like a a really wonderful atmosphere. And that's, I guess down to them. Felt easy and playful and supportive and light. Um, like no hierarchy, just people having fun and doing art. Yeah, it was, I think, testament to them. A really, really beautiful experience.
I love to hear it. I really believe in that team so, so much. So I cannot wait to see how that one turns out. I'm going to let you go now, but I will say a big, big thank you for your time. And also, huge congratulations on everything you've accomplished, but in particular, what you've done on Umbrella Academy, because I mean it. Lila pops big time. You should be very proud of your work.
Thank you so much. It's so lovely.